Welcome everyone to the Doctor Janine show. So happy to have you all here today. This is going to be a great show. Can you guess what we're making? We are making a fantastic pre-workout coffee drink that you are going to love. This is going to change the game of your workouts. You're going to love this. So that's going to be coming up. We're also talking women's health, but we're talking about general health as well. So for the guys, we never leave you out. We're talking about 3 or 4 things you need to be doing every single day for good health. We're talking about ovarian cysts as requested and PCOS as well for the ladies. That's going to be important. And we're talking tick season and what we need to do to protect ourselves from tick bites and mosquitoes. This applies as well. So this is a great show. I'm so excited to have you all here today. Please say hello. Let me know where you are streaming in from. And if this is your first time here, I want to see a 1 in the comments, please. Thank you for sharing today's live as well. For those of you who've been here for a while at the Dr. Janine show, it's so great to have you all back again. And please just do a quick shout out, say hello. I love to see who's always here. Okay, Nate in Maryland, nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in today. And who else do we have? Dark, hello, nice to see you. Good morning, good morning. And we have someone from London, Avad 756. Thank you for tuning in. It's so great to have you here. This is going to be a great show. So we will be going to the kitchen for recipes. We're going into the beauty set for something a little bit different than beauty. We're talking ticks and tick bites and how to protect yourself, which is so important. We're talking women's health as well. And thank you for sharing today's live. Again, if you're here for the first time, Cheryl, you're here for the first time, and Jim, you're here for the first time as well. Put a 1 in the comments. Thank you for tuning in from the United Arab Emirates. Sorry, Salah, nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in. It's so great to see you. Kathy, hello, hello. Rickman, hello. And Francis is here from Ireland. Hello, and nice to see you. So I hope everybody's having a great day. This is the Dr. Janine show. We talk all things natural. Let's get started. Okay, so first, we're going to talk a little bit about ovarian cysts. So this is by popular demand. A lot of the ladies were asking about ovarian cysts and of course PCOS. We're going to talk about that as well. More importantly, what some of the symptoms are, but also what you can do about it naturally. Okay, so let's start. We will be talking about the benefits of coffee as well coming up, so stay tuned for that. And these are the scientific benefits of coffee, which you're going to love if you're a coffee lover like I am. Okay, so some of the symptoms of having ovarian cysts include, of course, pain in the abdominal region. There could be swelling as well. There could also be painful bowel movements. There could be pelvic pain, and this is during the menstrual cycles. That can be a problem. Of course, painful intercourse, which is problematic. Pain in the lower back and in the thighs as well. So as much as you think, okay, it's always in the abdominal area, of course, we have nerves that are innervating the different parts of the legs. So you could have thigh pain as that's related to your ovaries and what's happening in the ovaries, as well as breast tenderness, and of course, nausea and vomiting can even be related when this is really getting out of hand in terms of the inflammation in the ovaries. So this is something that we definitely want to be able to treat naturally, and that's of course what we do here at the Dr. Janine show, so I'm going to be sharing those tips in just a second. Now, let's talk about first, this is for everyone, 4 things that we need to be doing every single day for good health. Now, I want you to think about it in your head for a second before I put them up here. What are some of those things that we need to do every single day for good health? Please put it in the comments. I'm going to continue to talk. I'll give a big hint right here. If you've not seen the show before, or if you have seen the show before, you know exactly what this is. If you've been following me, you know it is on this platter here. Kalan, I like that, absolutely. And Nancy in Egypt, nice to see you. If you have seen this or you haven't seen this, this is, of course, the infamous poo platter. Somebody call it the charcuterie board. So yeah, I love the comments in, of course, my TikToks and my other posts, but this is something that we need to do every day. So number 1, as you probably guessed, is yes, you've got to poop regularly, at least 1 bowel movement per day. More is better, but too many is also not a good thing. So you want to have healthy bowel movements. The ideal healthy poop is that S-shaped dark sinker. If you've seen my post before, this is equally as good, the newest addition to the poop platter from my youngest son. He made this one, very proud of that poop. And if you've got poops looking like this, that's a problem. That's severe constipation. So this is something you've got to get working on. I've got a lot of tips on all of my videos on how to get those poops going regularly. Okay, tip number 2, another thing that you have got to do every single day is pee, of course. And you want to urinate frequently enough. This is really important, that you're flushing toxins through the kidneys, okay? So that goes without saying, which goes with a lot of people are saying drinking enough water is important, which I see a lot of people, Sunshine Mumsy is saying hydrate. Absolutely, that goes along with our point number 2. Okay, number 3, we also have to perspire, we have to sweat. So doing things to actually encourage your own perspiration, that's a huge detox mechanism through the skin. You want to make sure that you're perspiring every single day. And number 4, you want to breathe. So think about the lungs, the big detox organ as well. You have to breathe intentionally. So what does that mean? That means not shallow breathing. Most of us only use the top third of our lungs, but our lungs actually span and go right under our rib cage. Everybody put your hands under your rib cage right now. I want you to appreciate how big your lungs actually are and take a few really deep breaths. Just center in a few really deep breaths. The more that you consciously breathe every day, not only helping with your detox, but also helping to calm down your nervous system. Our vagus nerve is very much connected to our breathing, and making sure that you're breathing properly every day is a great way for anxiety, for stress, to help to relax your system. Okay, I hope everybody's loving this. Bare feet on the ground, I love that as well, which is amazing. And I want you to screenshot this really quickly before we go on to our next little segment. Okay, everybody got that? All righty. Okay, so thank you for tuning in today. It's so great to have you. And yes, Naomi have a question about turmeric. I'm sure my team behind the scenes here will be able to answer that question, which is amazing. Thank you for that. As well as Shamira in South Africa, nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in today. It's so great to have you here, and everybody else who's here. If I can't call you out every show, I'm so sorry. There's so much happening on my screens here, and I can't shout out everyone, but I definitely do my best. Okay, let's talk about PCOS symptoms, and we're also going to talk about those, of course, tips for ovarian cysts and the PCOS. So when we're talking about PCOS symptoms, a little bit different than the ovarian cyst, but depending on where you're at on that spectrum in terms of how much inflammation you've got in the ovaries, here's one of those things with PCOS is, number 1, weight gain. So you start to gain that weight because of the hormones being out of balance, and that has a lot to do with balancing, especially insulin levels. Usually insulin is out of control with PCOS, and you've got that leptin resistance, which is something, of course, if you don't know what that is, check out my content on leptin resistance. You've got to fix that leptin resistance. Okay, another one is acne. So if you do have PCOS, that usually goes hand in hand with your androgens, so your testosterone levels are going to be elevated. That's what is part and parcel with what's happening with that acne, as well as that insulin resistance, which I mentioned is another symptom of that PCOS. Dark hair growth in all the wrong places. So yeah, women will start to get dark hair growth on their face, which is something sometimes you need to have treatments and laser and things to remove that dark hair, which I know you hate. It's expensive and can leave scarring and things. So that is another symptom of the PCOS. And of course, irregular periods. So this is another reason why you've got to balance what's going on. And when I get to my tips, you're going to appreciate, balancing those hormones, especially the insulin and the leptin, is going to be really important. Okay, so hello, who's ever tuning in. Angel, nice to see you. Thank you. You've got questions about detox. Well, stay tuned because we talk all about detox. We talk all about, and I'm sure my team behind the scenes is going to help to answer those questions for you. And make sure that you're screenshotting this. So if this is something that is definitely relevant for you, please, or you have a friend, somebody, a woman in your life who's suffering with PCOS, please make sure that you share this information with them and screenshot that. Okay, so we're going to be talking about ticks and what ticks are problematic. Can you see that guy behind me on that screen? I know. Isn't that that's something, isn't it? So tick bites are something that, especially right now, are very prevalent. Mosquitoes are really bad this year as well. And ticks can actually bore their head into your skin, as you can see here, and they can stay stuck. This happens, of course, on your pets as well, so you've got to always check. Now, we will be coming back to my pre-workout coffee, so that's coming up in just a second. I'm going to share this recipe, and you're going to love this, so stay tuned for that. But tick season is definitely here. The good news is I've got a great hack how to get rid of these, even if they're embedded into your skin like that. And I know it's giving everybody the EBGBs, but that's why you're here. You're here to learn. Now, ticks, we know, and one of the big dangers of ticks is that they can cause Lyme disease, and that's due to a bacteria called Borrelia burgdorferi. And no, it's not going shopping at Bergdorf. What's the name of that store? I don't even know anymore. But yeah, no, this is an important bacteria that, of course, we want to avoid. And you don't know if you've been infected or not if you've been bitten by a tick. But not every tick bite causes Lyme disease. So you don't have to be like super overtly scared about these things, but you've got to do things naturally. And of course, that's what I'm talking about today from a preventative standpoint. If you have been bitten, what you need to do to protect your immune system, which is so important. So just like every mosquito that bites you doesn't give you malaria, the same with ticks. Every tick that may bite you, not necessarily you're going to get that Lyme disease. But this is something that I want to share, some of the common signs and symptoms of being bit by that tick that is infected with the Borrelia. And this is something that you definitely want to be aware of, and you're going to see your doctor so that, it's investigated. So 3 to 30 days, so there's a big window of incubation time here. So 3 to 30 days after bitten by a tick, there's a classic bullseye rash, and that is red in the middle, and then it has like a whiter spot, and then it's more red on the outside. It looks like a bullseye, and that's usually close to exactly where the tick has bitten you. And this is something that one of my patients, years back, she called the office and she's like, oh my gosh, my sister has this, she thinks she's been bitten by something, and she's got this big bullseye rash, and she sent a picture to me, and I saw it, and it was definitely, what we were talking about here with Lyme's disease. That bullseye rash was on her leg, and it was something that we were able to treat aggressively, and we did it really, really well, and she didn't end up having any long-standing, symptoms of that Lyme's. We hear of celebrities like Justin Bieber, a great example, who had Lyme disease and maybe, was treated properly, or maybe not. Maybe he should have called me and I could have helped him out. So this is something that definitely we want to make sure that we're aggressively taking care of our immune system. And I'm going to share my tips and exactly what I did with, this patient, which was amazing to help her through that Lyme's. Okay. Signs and symptoms of being bit by the tick with the Lyme's disease: a lot of fever, there could be chills, there could be muscle aches as well. So you just don't feel well, you feel like, you're coming down with something, you've got the flu. There could be joint pain as well. You could also have a headache, as that's related to, of course, that bacteria. You could have swollen lymph nodes. So this is something that's interesting. We're going to look at the lymphatic system really quickly, and you can see that depending on where you've been bit by that tick, you could have swelling in that area, and that's your immune system is being activated, and your lymphatics are being activated to try to resolve that infection. So for instance, if you are bit in this area up here, let's say in the neck, which is a common region to be bit. I was actually bit about a week and a half ago by something. Thankfully, it wasn't a tick, but I did my whole protocol to make sure that, and I to this day, I actually don't know what it was, but to this day, all I did was my protocol as prevention to make sure that I didn't get sick. So let's say if you're bitten here by the tick, then you could have swelling in your lymphatics here, and which is of course in the neck and in the head and behind the ears would be you may notice a bit of swelling in that area. If you're bitten, let's say in the arm, then you're going to have perhaps swelling here, and especially the axillary lymph node, so under your arm. So you're checking to make sure, that, your immune system is not activated. If you're bitten, let's say down here in the leg, you could have swelling in the lymph nodes behind the knees and into the groin area, and it could feel a little bit tender, and you're like, oh, that feels kind of weird. Of course, this is something that your doctor is going to check for that swelling in those lymph nodes, because the lymph is always flowing back up to the heart. And so depending on where the bite is, let's say it's here, you could have swelling here, and of course under the armpit as well. So that, let's say under the arms, if you're bitten on your right arm, it's going to be in your right lymphatic. So this is something that you really want to be aware of and checking with your doctor. But then I've got my tips as well, which are coming up, which you're absolutely going to love, and how to remove that tick, which is the most important thing. The other day we heard screaming when we were outside doing our gardening. There was screaming happening. This little girl was screaming across the street, and I was just about to go over and make sure that everything was okay, and then the screaming stopped. And sure enough, her dad came over and explained that, oh my gosh, you heard the screaming? And they're like, yeah, we heard the screaming. We weren't sure if everything was okay. And her dad said that she was bitten by a tick, and her mom found it when she was doing her hair, so brought her outside. And of course, this tick was lodged into the back of her head in her hairline, which isn't always noticeable right away when it happens. So who knows how long it was there for. And so she was screaming during that removal process. And I actually told him about this because it could have been a little bit less traumatic the way that I like to remove ticks if you've got a tick bite. Okay, so I've got my handy dandy little tick here. So this is a gross enlargement of a tick. Of course, they're never this big. Don't think he's too cute because, yeah, my daughter made this little tick just for educational purposes. I hope you're loving it. If anybody's been bitten by a tick before, please put a 1 in the comments. I'm curious because this is something that is so common, especially this season. They tend to be very, very bad here in North America. And please let me know where you're from if you're tuning in for the first time. Thank you for sharing today's live as well. And shout out to everybody who's here today. It's so great. Now remember, we have quiz questions coming up as well. You have an ability to win prizes today. So thank you for tuning in, and we're going to shout out last week's winner. All right, so great to see you guys. So let's talk about how to remove this guy. Okay, and this is how to safely remove a tick if you have found it somewhere on your body or on, one of your loved ones' body, one of your kids' bodies, or on your pets as well. This is something that you can do. Okay, so all you need is oil of oregano, and you're going to put a few drops of that oil of oregano. Peppermint. What am I saying? Well, oil of oregano would work too, but it's not always great for pets. But this is peppermint essential oil, and you're going to put a few drops onto a little thing like this, a cotton swab. And then you're just going to circle around. So you're going to circle around, circle around, circle around, keep circling around as close to the tick's body as possible. And the tick does not like that aroma of that essential oil. It just aggravates that tick. Now, here's the thing, it doesn't actually kill the tick. So what you're gonna we're gonna be vigilant about that tick. So now that what you're gonna do with a plastic bag, you're gonna take a plastic bag and take the tick off and seal it in. Now, if you're going to see your practitioner, you're going to the hospital to have the tick actually analyzed to make sure that it's not infected. That's something that you can do as well. If it gives you the EBGBs, you're just going to dispose of it as you see fit, and then now it is removed. And that is a great way of preserving, because you're not killing the tick. Because if you squish a tick, here's the thing. If you squish a tick or you remove it in the wrong way, it can actually dispel all of those toxins even more so into your bloodstream if you don't do it the proper way. So this is a great gentle way to make sure that that is removed. So you get rid of that tick, and it smells good at the same time as the peppermint oil. Okay, so here we go. I want you to screenshot this. So you're removing it safely. Now the other part of this is taking immune supporting herbs. And this to me is probably the most important part if you have been bitten. And this could be a mosquito, this could be, ticks as well, that you're supporting your immune system through that process. And some of my favorite herbal medicines for this are echinacea, which is like a natural antibiotic. So against, of course, bacteria, Lyme disease being one of them, as well as astragalus. It's a deep immune herbal medicine, which is great. Helps to support your immunity. And Panax ginseng is another one of my favorite herbal medicines. So great for those tick bites, great for mosquito bites, just to keep your immune system strong and healthy. And this is something you could take all summer long now as a preventative to help with your immunity. The other thing that I love to do, if for sure that you've been bitten, you've been infected with something, is a parasite cleansing protocol. So, so important. This is what I did as well as a prevention. And we do have and can share with you an entire Lyme protocol that we use for Lyme's disease. I've got some other videos on Lyme, but this is something that, is very, very important. So maybe that's something we could share in next week's show. We could go through the exact protocol with Lyme's, what to do. If you guys want to hear about that, just put Lyme in the comments, and we'll make sure that we make that happen for next week's show. But there are specific herbal medicines that I use, and of course, putting the good guys back in. Your probiotics, really important for that microbiome, and of course, for your immunity. Okay, so great to see you all here today. Thank you. Okay, a lot of people want to hear about Lyme's. Yes, awesome, awesome, awesome. Guess what? We're at quiz time, and we are playing. So we have 3 quiz questions in most of our shows. This week we have 3 quiz questions. This week we're playing for the collagen from VitaTree, and this is from our great sponsors at VitaTree. We thank them for making the Dr. Janine show possible in the first place. So we're playing for the collagen. Is everybody ready? Woohoo! There we go. Thank you very much. It's quiz time. Are you ready? Just do your best. Put the answer, whatever you think it may be, into the comments. Here we go. Quiz question number 1. True or false? Every tick bite causes Lyme disease. Okay, you got 30 seconds only. Please put your answers in, true or false. All right, I see those answers already coming in. All right, good job, everyone. Just do your best. Let's go, let's go. And I see some people have had Lyme and people suffering. Okay. All right, does everybody have their answers in? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I saw, I think, all correct answers. And of course, the answer is false. So even if you have been bitten by a tick, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get Lyme's disease. But I saw a lot of comments happening during that quiz question, which is amazing, about, people sharing their feedback about Lyme. So we're going to go and review those comments because I find it really interesting, and definitely I'll make sure that next week we are going to be talking about specific protocol for Lyme disease. Okay, so let's congratulate last week's winner, and that was of the VitaTree Fat Factors, and it was Sharam. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I don't know. If you're here, please put a heart in the comments. Sharam. If you're here, thank you for tuning in, and congratulations. Please make sure that you are following Team Dr. Janine so that we can reach you, and make sure you're following me, of course. Thank you for all the new followers today as well. It's so great to have you here, and thanks for sharing today's live. It's so fun for me to do these shows, the Dr. Janine Show. We do it every week, so every Tuesday at this time, we are doing and having a different topic of concern in terms of natural medicine, and of course, more importantly, what you can do about it. Okay, we're going to talk about tips for ovarian cysts and PCOS. I promised I was going to share some of these tips, really important for your overall health, but also, of course, making sure that we are helping with those ovarian cysts. Okay, so tip number 1 is to do that castor oil pack. I don't know if we can bring Lucy over here real quick, because I'm going to show you really quickly with the castor oil pack why this is so important for, the ovarian cysts and that PCOS. So that castor oil pack is something that I've got other videos on, and you're going to put the castor oil onto cotton, flannel, no chemicals, no bleach or anything in your fabric. And you're going to put that on your lower abdomen. So covering the ovaries, yes, but also covering the liver. Lucy's liver. Where's her liver? Her liver's gone. There it is. Okay, so you're also covering the liver, but also, so you're going to make the pack a little bit larger than what you normally would, because I want you to cover the ovaries, which of course Lucy doesn't have ovaries. But there we go. So you're making that pack large enough to cover the liver and the ovaries. That's important for the detox mechanisms that are important. Your liver health and your hormones are definitely connected. So you're going to want to do that, okay? This is important, as well as so tip number 2 for PCOS and the ovaries and ovarian cysts is to do that full body detox. So this is something that I talk a lot about in my other videos, how to do that full body detox. I love using herbal medicines to get those toxins gently but effectively out of those internal organs. And tip number 3, of course, I promised I would come here again, talking about leptin resistance. You've got to fix that leptin resistance. So dietary changes that you can make, no snacking, making sure that you're eating less carbohydrates in general, really important for PCOS. You got to stabilize those insulin levels. It's usually the leptin resistance that comes first before the insulin resistance with PCOS and most other, issues with insulin resistance. So fix that leptin resistance. If you don't know what that is, it's something that I talk a lot about on social media. Please check it out on my channels. And you're going to want to have more proteins and healthy fats for your breakfast to stabilize your blood glucose levels, a lot less carbohydrates. Like I said, no snacking. And another tip with leptin resistance is making sure that you get some cold exposure. So this is something that you can do. Cold showers, amazing to help with that leptin signaling. Okay, we've got that. Okay, screenshot this really quickly. You're going to want to have these tips, and then you can refer back to it so that you can, find more information on my channels. Okay, hello, who's here? Yes, great. Chamberlain, is that it? Owen, carnivore diet helps to resolve PCOS. Absolutely, because you're eliminating carbohydrates. And that's a big reason why it works for so many people with PCOS. That being said, though, that detoxification part is something that I recommend, though, because you want to make sure that, you're dealing with and making sure that you're getting some of those exogenous hormones out of the system, especially the endocrine disruptors that we have from our environmental exposure to, some of those plastics and things that are in our environment, which is also part of what's going on with the PCOS and the ovaries. So nice to have you all here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do have a video coming up on apple cider vinegar, so that is a great question coming in, so thank you for that. And so stay tuned. If you're here for the first time, thank you for all the new followers, and thanks for sharing today's live as well. Okay, let's talk about the benefits of coffee. Now we're going to the kitchen in just a second. We're going to be making the pre-workout drink, the coffee that you will love. I'm going to add into my recipe. You're going to be able to screenshot that recipe, some great hacks of ingredients that you're going to want for your pre-workout. Helps with having that healthier workout. Okay, scientific health benefits of coffee. Let's talk about them. Number 1, helps to lower your diabetes risk. This is huge. So this was found in one review of 30 studies. So they looked at 30 studies. They found that each cup of coffee people consume per day was linked to a 6% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So this is something you can look up. The study's right there if you want to screenshot that really quickly. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so you've got that. Now another study for weight loss. So again, another scientific benefit of drinking coffee. Let me have a sip. Weight loss. So in this study, they found that higher coffee consumption was associated with significantly lower total body fat percentage and trunk body fat percentage in a dose-response manner. And this was amongst women. And guess what? Decaf worked as well as caffeinated coffee. So if you think you have to have the caffeine, not necessarily so. Even decaf coffee works, which is amazing. So if, you don't want to overdo it with the caffeine, that can be overstimulatory. I've got, other videos on how to hack your coffee routine as well. Okay, and number 3, lower cancer risk. So this is huge. This was a study done in Spain. We can see here lower cancer mortality was observed amongst coffee drinkers of more than 1 cup per day compared with people who didn't drink coffee at all. So this is huge. As much as people down talk and they trash talk coffee, it does have some research benefits, which is great if you're a coffee lover. I'm not saying that you start drinking coffee if you don't like it, but if you are a coffee drinker, getting the right amount of coffee in, a high quality coffee every day can be really advantageous for your health. Okay, another benefit of coffee, of course, increases energy because of the caffeine and athletic performance. So this is fantastic as well. We know that athletes, why is it a banned substance? Having too much caffeine in the system for sports? Well, it's because it increases athletic performance, and it's not fair to everyone who doesn't have caffeine. Okay, make sense? Yes, makes sense. If everybody loves coffee, anybody who loves coffee, please put yes in the comments. You love coffee, or put a coffee cup or something. I can't be the only one who loves coffee here, which is great. Okay, so now let's talk about, is it a quiz question again? We're going to screenshot that really quickly. You got it? All right. We are at quiz question number 2. Remember, we are playing for, so everybody get ready. This one is a little bit trickier question coming up, but I don't want to scare you off. You don't even need to answer it correctly to get it correct to win the prize. Okay, we're playing for the Vitatree Collagen. Are we ready, everyone? Here we go. You got 30 seconds. Where should you place a castor oil pack for PCOS? You got 30 seconds. Let's go. All right, let's go. Let's go over here. Everybody get your answers in? Okay, I see a lot of coffee lovers. I love that, love that. I see a lot of coffee cups. You found that emoji? So awesome. Coffee, yay! Mood lovers, yes. I love coffee as well. We're gonna make that recipe in just a second. Okay, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, everybody got their answers in? Where do we put it? Yes, yes, I'm looking for the specific, yes, J092516. We put it over the ovaries and the liver. You were paying attention. Congratulations. Awesome, awesome job. Anna got that right as well. And what's it? Nail by Tina, I think it was. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, and T Sparrow 82 got it correct as well. Good job, everyone. I love the fact that you're paying attention. You're very good students. And thank you for sharing today's live as well. And all of my new followers that are here as well, thank you for tuning in today. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. This is the Dr. Janine Show if you're just tuning in now. We have one more quiz question coming up in the show. We're also going to be going into the kitchen and we're making that pre-workout drink, which you're going to love. It changes the game for your workouts. Okay, let's share our viewer spotlight. So every week we share some lovely information from one of our followers. And this is from Cafe Loves Jesus. And you said you're extremely helpful for me daily. So thank you so much. That's fantastic feedback. I love to see all of your great comments that you share. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel blessed to be able to be here and to be able to share the health information in the first place. So I thank all of you as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep all of those great comments coming in. We'd love to read them and you may be featured as our viewer spotlight. Okay, we're going into the kitchen. We're making this famously awesome pre-workout coffee recipe. So if you're just tuning in, we just talked about some of the scientific benefits of drinking coffee. And this is in the research, which is amazing how this is so good for you, especially pre-workout. This is a great way to rev up your fat burning. Okay, so what do we have? We have some ice in a cup. Now you could do this hot as well, but I like it iced before a workout because I just like it iced. And of course now it's a warmer season here where I'm at in Canada. So, and please let me know where everybody is from because I know a bunch of new people are here today. I want to know where you're from. Okay. So you've got some ice in a cup, then you're putting in your coffee, any type of coffee that you like. And now what you're adding in is a pinch of salt. Now salt is key, and I like a salt that of course has minerals in it. So from Utah, there's a special salt that it's a sea salt. It has all the minerals with no toxicity, so that's really important. So just a pinch of salt, that's gonna help with your balance of your electrolytes. You need that sodium for a workout. Even just that pinch, I'm telling you, it makes all the difference in the world. It helps your body to actually hold on to the water in your system as well, so you don't become too dehydrated, and you need that hydration, of course, to get through your workout. Okay, so a pinch of that salt, as well as cream of tartar. Now, cream of tartar is potassium, and this is something, of course, that we use in baking, but you just need a 1/4 teaspoon of that cream of tartar, and trust me, you can't taste this in your coffee, and you're gonna start to mix that in. And if you wanted to put this into a blender and make it like a slushy chino kind of iced coffee, you could do that as well as some magnesium bisglycinate. So this is amazing because this one completely dissolves. Of course, it doesn't have any fillers or flow agents in it. This is important because that magnesium, another important electrolyte, and this helps with your cardiac function, but also for the proper contraction of your muscles. And so it really does help so you don't get muscle aches and cramping and twitching and things, especially if you're doing a really hard workout, okay? So you're gonna mix that in, and then if you wanted to add a pinch of a natural sweetener like monk fruit, you could definitely do that, or a bit more than a pinch, depending on how sweet you like it. Stevia as well, you could do that. I wouldn't necessarily recommend sugar here because you're doing it pre-workout. If you want to do a bit of honey, you could do that as a pre-workout as well. That'll give you some instant carbohydrates. And of course, you could do almond milk, you could do grass-fed cream. This is a little bit indulgent because it's the grass-fed cream. You're gonna stir that up and drink this, I'm telling you, before your workouts. It's a game changer. It really is a game changer. So please make sure we're gonna now screenshot this recipe. You're gonna love it because this will give you so much energy. It helps with the fat burning as well for your workout. And here we go. In case you missed it, I want you to screenshot this really quickly. Your pre-workout coffee drink. You're going to love it. And how many people take a pre-workout? Do you use a pre-workout? I am curious. All right. We got it. Okay. We're at quiz question number 3 already. Oh my goodness. This one, are we staying here? Okay, we're gonna go over here. Hello to everyone. Marva from Trinidad and Tobago. Nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in today. It's so great to have you here. We're gonna have an opportunity to ask me a few questions in just a minute, but let's do our quiz question number 3. Okay, if you're new to the show, hello, thank you for following, and thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing today's live. I know a bunch of you shared today's live, which is amazing. Okay. let's do quiz question number 3. If you're here for the first time, we have usually 3 or more quiz questions in each show. You have the opportunity to win a prize. We're playing for the VitaTree Collagen today from our great sponsors at VitaTree. And you've got 30 seconds once that question gets up there. Here we go. Name one health benefit of coffee. Okay, you got 30 seconds on the clock. Let's go. Starting now. Put your answers in. Wow, you guys are fast. Name one health benefit of coffee. Nice. Alrighty, everybody getting your answers in? Yes, very good, very good. And I see a lot of people are paying attention. That's amazing. Good job, everyone. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody got their answers in. Yes, I saw a lot of weight control. Helps with preventing cancer, fat burning, absolutely. Energy and weight. Some people put great pre-workout. I like that as well. Lowers cancer risk. Diva Organic, nice to have you here. And Garden Life, 1952, weight loss, absolutely helps to wake you up. Yes, so balances blood sugar. Helps with diabetes. Yes, I see that coming in right now. Ackerman, I don't know if I said that right. I'm so sorry. As well as, of course, the weight loss, the energy, athletic performance, and lowers that cancer risk. So congratulations, everyone who got your answers in. Please make sure that you're following Team Dr. Janine. So if you are a lucky winner, we can reach out to you and make sure that that prize gets to you. Remember, we're playing for the collagen from our sponsors at VitaTree. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so that was our quiz questions. So we'll have the opportunity, don't go anywhere. Next week, we're gonna have the opportunity to go through those questions again, and we will have more quiz questions. Now, if you do have specific questions, I'd love to hear from you. And if you're just tuning in right now, today, so far, we've talked about polycystic ovaries and ovarian cysts and tips on what to do for those. If anybody wants us to pull up any of those lists or the recipe again, please put in the comments and we'll make sure that we do that so you can screenshot if you missed any of that. And the tips, of course, for polycystic ovaries and ovarian cysts. And of course, we talked about tick removal as well. And I see a question coming in, how to remove the tick from the dog. You do the same thing. So that same, I actually learned part of that protocol from my vet when we had our dog. Yeah, and he had a big tick. And of course, it was removed safely by doing that protocol, which is amazing. We talked about, and we will talk about next week, Lyme disease and my protocol for that very specifically. We talked about how to remove the tick today, what to do, how to support your immune system. We talked about some of the herbal medicines for supporting your immunity today as well, which was great. And info on the castor oil pack. Okay, so let's go really quick over here. That's a great question. Let's boogie on over here. How's everybody doing this morning? I hope everybody's enjoying today's show. I love it. I mean, it's fun. I love doing these shows. And please put a heart in the comments if you're here for the first time. It's great to have you here, and thank you for tuning in. I know a ton of questions coming in. I hope that I can get to some more of them. Okay, the castor oil pack. You're gonna coat your flannel that doesn't have bleach, doesn't have toxic laundry soap or anything in it. I do have if you missed it, we did that a few weeks ago, my laundry soap recipe, which I swear by, it's amazing, it's non-toxic. So that's really important. Make sure that your cotton flannel doesn't have any toxic things in it. You're gonna coat that with your castor oil, and then you're putting it on covering for PCOS, specifically covering the liver, which is on your right-hand side, as well as your ovaries. So you're gonna have to make it quite large, and this is actually maybe not showing large enough, but over the ovaries, over your liver, which is on your right-hand side under your rib cage, you're gonna cover that entire area with your castor oil pack. Then you put a hot water bottle on top, and you're gonna keep that there for at least 45 minutes. And you're gonna do that 3 times a week minimum. You could do it every day if you have the time to do it. Just put on your favorite show, watch my YouTube videos. You can check out or listen to my binaural beats on my Be Still channel. So maybe we can pull that up really quickly because I'm thinking of it. The Be Still channel is you can listen to, natural nature sounds, which is so amazing. It's great for meditation. We have different frequencies of that music. So please check it out. If you're new here, you haven't seen this yet, this is Be Still by Dr. Janine. Check it out on YouTube. And if you can hear that music, so relaxing. And we have specific videos and specific music of those hertz, those frequencies of the solfeggio frequencies, which is in tune with nature. I just get so zen just listening to this for a few seconds. Is everybody loving this? Yeah, so you can listen to that as you have your castor oil pack on. Healing, healing, healing. I'm telling you, this is like a life changer, especially if you're suffering. This works for, if you've got abdominal pains, if you've got issues with anything going on that you need to detoxify and calm down that storm in the digestive tract, but in your immune system as well. It's a great way to really help with menstrual cramps as well. I mean, the list goes on and on why castor oil packs are fantastic. Check out my videos on how to do it, but that's basically how you do it. And then you keep this in a jar. So you're going to keep this in a glass jar, and then you can reuse it. You can add a bit more castor oil to it, put it on again, and you can do it again and repeat that process a few times a week. Okay, is everybody loving this? Awesome, awesome. Oh, Joanna, or is it Joanna? Yes, is asking what's great for the full body detox, herbal medicines. So this is something that in our comments, make sure that you can definitely, yes, and check out my other YouTube videos about full body detox and the specific herbal medicines that I like to use as part of a full body detox, which is amazing, amazing, amazing. And Ascension Coaching, will this be saved to your channel? You got your first tick bite yesterday, oh no, and you would love the tips to support your immune system. Yes, so this entire episode, if you're just tuning in now, will live on YouTube, so you can check it out even, after we close the show. But here are some tick hacks to remember if you missed it. So you're going to remove it safely with peppermint oil. I showed how to do that. You circle around the tick, and you can keep the tick in a plastic bag for examination, of course, at the doctor's or at the hospital, making sure you're going to be looking for that bullseye rash. If it is Lyme disease, you're going to take the immune supporting herbs that we talked about and a parasite cleansing protocol, which I'm going to go into very specifically next week. Now, if you can't wait for that, please, maybe email our team, so the team at Vitatree. So send an email today, like immediately, to hello@vitatree.com, and we can sort of pre-share that Lyme disease and tick prevention and, protocol to you so that you get those tips immediately. I hope that you're okay. We're going to pray for Ascension Coaching that is here on YouTube. We're going to pray that you're all good, but I'm telling you, if you support your immune system, you will be good and you'll be able to fight off anything, whether you're infected with something or not from that tick. So peace be with you, and I hope everything's going to be good with you. Let's pray for that, which is amazing. And oh, I was in the way. Okay, somebody, Jay Tipton, wants to see something else. Please let me know what it was so that I can get out of the way and you can screenshot it. Which one was it? I'm not sure. So please let us know, Tipton. Did we get it? I think we did. Okay, that's great. And I know there's some more questions in, so please, if I didn't get to your question, please send an email to the team, hello@vitatree.com, and we'll address it there. We do archive all the questions after the shows as well. We do our best to do that. So, continue to, if we missed it, please go into the comment section of any of my videos so that you can actually, comment there and we can get to your questions. And you can imagine the team, the team here at the Doctor Janine Show and all of my content is working diligently all the time. If we miss your question, just put it in a few times so that we can make sure that we're getting to you. You can also email the team at Vitatree. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beirut, you're so welcome. Thank you for tuning in. This was a great show. And yeah, if you have any other questions, we are about to go, I think. Yes, thank you for everybody who tuned in today. Thank you for sharing today's live as well. And be sure to tune in next week. So next week, we're going to be talking about fatty liver. We're going to talk about liver health tips. We're going to talk about the protocol specifically for Lyme's disease as well. And tick and, mosquito, just bug bites in general, what we do to support our immune system. That also ties in parasites, so intestinal parasites and worms as well. That is part of the same protocol. So we're going to be sharing that. One of my goals is to always teach you and to empower you over the healing of your own body, mind, and spirit. I hope that you enjoyed today's show. Thank you so much for everyone who was here for the first time today. It was so great to have you all here, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. We'll see you then. Bye.